Straighten my tie out. There we go. How you guys doing? We're just sitting here in the dungeon, the WPTV dungeon. This is the new Sowers dungeon. It is a dungeon. We're going to talk severe weather because there's quite a bit of it. At least it appears as if there's going to be quite a bit of it. Across the heartland of the nation, we're going to see a couple of areas of low pressure. I'm going to show you this in a moment. There's two little mid to upper level lows that are going to be kind of rumbling across the country like a bowling ball, and each one has a lot of wind energy with it, and there's the potential for some really bad weather, and I do mean really bad. So, we're getting into severe weather season, March, April, May. You get severe weather during those 3 months, especially out there across the heartland. But every season there tends to be one or two events that can get really, really nasty. This could be one of those events. There's a lot of instability. There's going to be a lot of wind shear, both directional and speed shear, both which are needed to produce not only the damaging straight line winds, but also tornadoes. And we're going to have to see what happens as these two areas of low pressure push to the East Coast. Will it be impacting the Philadelphia area? It could. There could be some severe weather in the Philadelphia area. I think you're going to get a lot of clouds and some rain and strong winds regardless. But, do you get severe weather there? That's the question. And then what about the folks down here, especially the snowbirds down in South Florida? I think we are so far south that we kind of escape all of this because dynamically the energy needed to support that kind of weather, it passes by to the north. It goes from like maybe northern Texas, Amarillo, Texas, all the way up into the Great Lakes. And we're so far south down here that we get maybe some showers and a couple of downpours or a thunderstorm, but I don't think anything more than that. So let me show you what's going on here. And man, it's been a while since I've done one of these. I almost forget what I'm doing. So here we go. So what you're looking at here, this is the, where is it, 500 millibar? All right, so we're about 20,000 feet up. Here's a look at the load. Now, there's going to be two of them. This is the first one. It's going to come out like this. The second one will kind of redevelop here, and it'll also come out like this. So I'll set it in motion for you so you can see what I'm talking about. There goes the first one right there. And then see how it kind of back builds, redevelops in Texas, and that one swings out. Both of them. There's a lot of energy there. Let me go back. See it? Okay, so these, again, this is the upper level energy that's needed. Here comes the first bowling ball. Here comes the second one. All right, then it hits the coast. But notice it's in a much weaker state as it hits the coast than when it is as it first starts. Let me go back. Here it is. Comes out of the front range. Boom. Here's the second one. Boom. Look how much weaker it is by the time it hits the coast. Okay, so because of that, you can kind of see we're going to get, this is a nice front here that'll be slicing through Florida. And there's the Philadelphia area. Here's South Florida. So you're going to get some showers and storms. But out here is where the big weather is lining up. Here's another look at it. This is the vorticity. And again, you can see the first low coming out of the Rockies. Look at all that energy right there. Okay? And then watch what happens. It redevelops. We get another one here. They both come out just like this. There it is. There's the first one. There's the second one following it. And again, what I was talking about earlier was, the energy kind of goes, here's South Florida, here's Philadelphia. The energy goes from here to here. So you get a little bit of wind energy left over in the mid-Atlantic. And look, regardless of whether or not you do see severe weather on Sunday in places like Philadelphia and New Jersey and D.C. and Baltimore, regardless, it's going to be a windy day up there anyway. Here in South Florida, the front comes through as we get into Monday. And I think there could be some severe weather here. Let's say from Myrtle Beach and Charleston south across portions of the Panhandle, maybe Jacksonville, but I don't think you get anything like that here in the West Palm Beach area. Okay, so we got a couple of alerts here. Storm Prediction Center has already gone ahead and issued a moderate risk for severe weather for tomorrow. This is going to be Friday's outlook. And you can see this is a scale of 1 to 5. This is level 1. This is level 2. This is level 3. This is level 4. This is getting really bad. Okay, so what this suggests is the moderate risk is there's likely going to be widespread damage here, okay? And when we categorize this, all right, here's the categories. The tornado threat is elevated, and the wind threat, especially here, is elevated. So you're likely going to see a squall line here. Right, some of the major cities involved are going to be Chicago, St. Louis, and then, Champlain here in Illinois. Des Moines is probably going to be in on this. Memphis in Tennessee, maybe even as far south as Jackson, Mississippi. But this is likely a lot of straight line wind damage. And I was reading some of the verbiage coming out of the Storm Prediction Center, and that was, by the way, that's the hail threat. There's the wind again. They are looking at the potential for for some of these wind gusts to exceed 70 miles per hour. Now, just to give you an idea how strong that is, hurricane force winds begin at 74. All right, so that's what they're really concerned about. So this is probably a big straight line wind event with isolated tornadoes embedded within the line. Then that's sort of like the appetizer, believe it or not. Here comes the main dish. This is going to be Saturday. Now, just to kind of give you an idea of how rare this is a day 3 outlook, and they've already gone ahead and issued a moderate risk. The last time they issued a day 3 moderate risk was all the way back March 22nd, 2022. It's been almost 3 years. Okay, during that particular event, 75 tornadoes struck. Okay, so this is kind of rare territory. They don't do this very often. They are highly concerned about what could end up taking place down here Saturday. And it looks like there's going to be multiple events. One will come early, and then the other one will likely come out and through here. So the first one will come in through here. The second one will likely come here at night. And that's when you have a lot of problems. It's really difficult, obviously, because the sun's down. It's difficult to see what's going on at night. And that's when perhaps the worst of whatever's going to happen Saturday will take place. And let's see, some of the big cities. Now, it's just about all of Alabama. It could lift all the way up into places like Nashville. Knoxville is probably in an area that's going to get hit pretty good. Just north of New Orleans is going to get hit good. Maybe Pensacola, Florida, Mobile, Alabama. Some of these areas here are just going to get walloped. And then, as we fast forward into Sunday, all right, here's the day 4. And you can see, now it's still a little too far out to really get into too many specific details and exactly what's going to happen out and through here. So I think what we're looking at is, like I mentioned earlier, forget about severe weather for a second. Regardless of what happens with that, it's going to be a very windy day because of how energetic that low is. Remember that little bowling ball I showed you here, and it's going like this? All right, so as that takes place, the winds are really going to pick up. It's what we call synoptic winds. It's going to be a windy day regardless. But then there's going to be this little ribbon here where we could end up seeing severe weather from, let's say, the upstate New York, PA state line, all the way down to places like Gainesville and Jacksonville. Now, the tornado threat is probably going to be from the Virginia, North Carolina line south. Okay, that's where there will likely be tornadoes. Up and through here, though, from the North Carolina, Virginia line north, this is likely going to be straight line wind damage. I mean, you can never say never. Sure, there could be an isolated tornado here. But I think if severe weather does break out Sunday, now remember, it's going to be a cloudy day up here. At least that's the way it's looking right now. So instability could be limited. You really need the sun to break out for an extended period of time to get that instability, that really good instability going to pick up severe weather. So we'll see what happens here. But right now, the Storm Prediction Center is concerned that there could be some damaging wind gusts in this area here, and it includes the Philadelphia television market, and it also includes all the way down to the south in the Jacksonville television market and all areas in between. Okay? Let's take a closer look at what this model is showing. So here comes the Friday event first. Now, do you see the bowing? Okay, you see the bowing here? This is an indication of strong straight line winds. Okay? The reason why the line is actually bowing like this is because the winds are so violent. They're so strong in the apex right here that they're forcing that part of the line out ahead of the bottom and the top of the bow. Okay? So this is indicating very strong straight line winds here, probably 65 or 70 miles per hour. There's St. Louis. Here's Chicago. All right, now remember, you see the individual cells too? There could be a thunderstorm or two. This is Friday night. Comes blasting right through the city of Chicago. Chicago, you could be looking at a very bad wind event Friday night. Now here comes Saturday. Now remember, the second bowling ball is going to come in like this. Okay, take a look at that. Here it comes. Boom, 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 boom. This whole thing. Now this particular model, it's a high-res model. It's the NAM 3K. It only goes this far out. But you can see what's happening here. The dangerous line developing. This is Saturday night. Or Saturday evening, I should say, and then you're going to get another one developing here, and then they will all ride east, okay? And take a look at this. This is one of the last things that I want to show you here, but this is called the significant tornado parameter. This takes into account instability and wind shear, all the ingredients needed to produce tornadoes. Look at how high some of the numbers are here, okay? Now, this is the first round, that first bowling ball, the straight line wind event. The significant tornado parameter is elevated here. We're seeing 4s and 5s and even a couple of 6s down here in the purple. But watch what happens on Saturday. Look at the explosion. You see this right here? Look at this. These numbers are over 10. and in some cases as high as 14. Let me see what the, yeah, they're over 10. I mean, so basically what this is suggesting, okay, just so you guys have an idea here. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Basically what that is suggesting, and here's Saturday. Look at this. Oh man. Oh, it's really bad. Whew. Wow. Okay. Basically what that is suggesting is anything that tries to develop out and through there Saturday is going to try to spin. It's going to rotate. And again, it's because of the directional and speed shear. Okay, so you have winds at the surface kind of coming in like this, winds aloft coming in like this. Everything's going to rotate. Okay, and then here you also had the winds coming in like this, but they were starting to veer. Okay, and then the upper level winds were coming like that, and that's why I think a lot of this is going to be straight line bow action here. Okay, and then everything will shift east, but remember dynamically all the energy here is going like this. Okay, it's going just like that. Here's Philadelphia all the way down to West Palm Beach. Thankfully, by the time this thing gets into South Florida or gets into the Philadelphia area, a lot of the energy just isn't there anymore. Here's a closer look at the fronts coming through. Again, this is, where are we at? This is Sunday morning. Here's Sunday afternoon. Notice all the lines. Okay, these are isobars, lines of equal pressure. The tighter these lines are, the stronger the winds are. So regardless of severe weather, it's going to be a windy day up here. Okay, so here comes Saturday into Sunday, and then this whole thing shifts. Now we're in the West Palm Beach area down here. That's Monday morning. Okay, so there you go. All right, we're looking at the potential for a real nasty stretch of weather here. So heartland of the nation. Actually, it's going to be sort of, it's not, I wouldn't consider it high plains, but let's say, you know, Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, Arkansas, maybe Kansas, perhaps, Western Kentucky, Western Tennessee, those areas Friday, late in the day Friday and Friday night. And then the whole thing shifts south as we get into Saturday. Now it's Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Panhandle, Florida, Louisiana. And then everything on Sunday, all that shifts east. So now it's the mid-Atlantic. That could get a little bit of severe weather, probably just straight line winds in places like Philadelphia. If you get any severe weather at all, there's no guarantee you see it. The percentages of seeing severe weather in Philadelphia are much lower than what they are out to the west. And then for Monday, that severe threat really diminishes as the front pushes into South Florida. For the West Palm Beach area, we're looking at probably a couple downpours. There could be a thunderstorm too, but I don't know if there's enough juice left to get severe weather. Okay, listen, it's great to see you guys. I know it's been a while. There just hasn't been a lot of weather to talk about recently. I'll do another one of these tomorrow if I can. Otherwise, you guys have a great weekend. I got to go record something in a few minutes here. That's why I have to move along so quickly. But have a great weekend. I hope everyone's doing well, and take care.